So yes, it's possible to drive a Dodge Challenger RT in the snow, and here's my 4 recommendations of things to do if you want to drive a Dodge Challenger RT during the winter. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So since winter is coming, I wanted to make a video to talk about what you should do if you want to drive a Dodge Challenger during the winter. So this winter is actually going to be my second winter with my Dodge Challenger, and I live up north in Canada where there's snow and the weather during the winter is really cold. So I wanted to make this video for the people that want to get a Dodge Challenger or that have a Dodge Challenger but actually don't drive it during the winter. So not driving your Dodge Challenger during the winter is probably the smart thing to do, but I just want to drive my car all year long. Since I did it last year, driving this car during the winter is not too bad if you do the 4 things that I'll mention in this video. So for the first thing that you should do if you want to drive your Dodge Challenger during the winter is obviously get some winter tires. The Dodge Challenger RT is rear-wheel drive, and nowadays a lot of people don't want to drive a rear-wheel drive during the winter since it might be harder to control, but I actually find that it's easier to control if you lose traction in comparison to a front-wheel drive. However, with a rear-wheel drive, you lose traction a lot easier. So for winter tires, that's one of the most essential things to get to drive during the winter. So personally, I didn't want to cheap out on that, and I bought a set of Pirelli Scorpion Winters, which cost me around $1,700. It's sort of expensive for tires. It cost me with taxes around $400 per tire, but I find that it really does the difference. I actually got some pretty good traction during the winter last year, and I'm gonna use the same tires this year. The second thing that you should do if you want to drive your Dodge Challenger during the winter is put some weight in the trunk. So the first time that it started snowing and that I drove my Dodge Challenger, I found that the traction wasn't the best. When I was turning, I was starting to drift, and when I was accelerating, I was just spinning and not moving too fast. So I decided to buy 200 pounds of salt bags that I could actually use if ever I get stuck, and just put them in my trunk. And once I did that, I saw that there was a big difference in the traction, and it was so much better by doing that. So really, you can put any kind of weight in the back, in the trunk, and it'll do the job. But if you get salt bags, it's actually useful if ever you get stuck and you have salt to put on the ground to try and get traction and get your car unstuck from wherever it is. For the third thing that I'd recommend if you want to drive your Dodge Challenger during the winter, it's to get it rust proof. So to keep the paint of the car in good condition and to keep the car from rusting from the weather and the damage that it could get from the salts on the road, rust proofing the car is a really good thing. When I bought my Dodge Challenger, the car had been rust proofed every year before the winter, and I decided to keep that going. Last year I rust proofed my car, and this year I'll rust proof my car. That's around $100 or so, but it's something that's really worth doing to keep the whole car in good condition for the winter so that you don't get rust spots or that the metal under the car start to rust. Finally, the fourth thing that I'd recommend doing if you drive your Dodge Challenger during the winter is to get a place that you can wash your car. Either get a car wash membership or go to a place that can wash your car as often as possible. During the winter, the roads get pretty dirty and there's salt and rocks that go on the road that the city puts to melt the ice, and that can go onto your car and under your car, and it's not really good for the car. So to get rid of that, you can get a car wash or get your car detailed or anything like that. Personally, I have a car wash membership, and last winter I think I went to the car wash at least once every week or every 2 weeks to just clean the car. And it was also good to get the ice off the car, because sometimes there's some ice that accumulates on the trunk or just some parts of the car. With the car wash and the hot water, It just washes off everything. And also with the car wash that I go to, it actually rinses underneath the car, which is good to get some of the parts that you wouldn't normally get with a regular car wash or a detailing job. So those are my 4 recommendations of things to do if you want to drive your Dodge Challenger RT during the winter. Personally, I have done it before and it's doable. You just have to be ready to be more aware when you drive, and you should really know how to handle a rear-wheel drive car while driving during the winter. I had never driven a rear-wheel drive car before in the snow, and it actually wasn't too bad for me to learn. So if ever you're scared that you won't know how to handle it, I think that with Dodge Challenger RTs, it's pretty controllable. You just have to look where you want to go and just adjust your throttle and the wheel, and you'll be fine. I actually drove the car in a winter storm where there was a foot of snow on the streets and they hadn't been cleared, and I had to drive like up a hill and all sorts of things like that. And at one point I was just like driving kind of sideways just up the hill, like the nose of the car was pointing in the right direction but the rear end was like almost sideways beside me. And personally, I find that pretty fun, but it can get dangerous if there's other cars around, so always be careful. So thanks everyone for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like down below and subscribe to the channel. I'm planning on filming a bunch of content this winter driving the car, so stay tuned. Also, you can check out my Instagram page for my car, Blue Beast RT, where I post some pictures of my car. So thanks everyone. Have a good one. That the city puts so that the city puts to melt the ice